According to Adrian Wojnarowski, 40 to 50 players have expressed concern about entering the Orlando bubble and how restrictive it's going to be. So the NBA and the union are close to a deal that would allow invited players to stay home. The players wouldn't get paid, but they wouldn't be penalized either. Brian, what is this all really about?
Rachel, I didn't understand last week when the union gave the vote before they saw all of the details. And they had a mandate from Michelle Roberts talking to all kinds of players across the league and from the team union reps. And so this came as a bit of a surprise because the union thought they had the green light to go forward and negotiate. And so while everybody can understand that this is a stressful situation and these details and this time is going to be hard, this caused everybody to kind of stop short. And I'm going to tell you, the NBA's plan is not going to work because you can't dock players' pay who don't want to come in when there's going to be other players who are not coming into the bubble because their teams aren't involved who are going to get their full pay even if they have health concerns. I don't envy anybody in the NBA who has to solve all of these problems. I recognize it's very hard, but I'm also going to say this is a mess and it's only going to probably get more complicated as we get closer to this.
And it is complicated, but one thing I can say and I want to applaud is the way that the NBA and the Players Association are working together. I haven't seen this type of interaction between the two since I've been in the league and since I retired. It's a beautiful thing to see, but now on the other hand, you can't knock a guy or knock a player for not wanting to go and play and participate because right now, I think the coronavirus has been overshadowed by the death of George Floyd and civil rights and the protesting, but the coronavirus is still here. Cases are still rising. People are still dying. Just think about it. One of our brothers, our NBA brothers, Karl Anthony Towns, lost his mother to coronavirus. God rest her soul. So I can't be mad at any player that want to stay home and not participate in this during this trying time because the coronavirus is still here. It's still alive. So at the end of the day, I love the way that the NBA and the Players Association are working hand in hand right now and trying to figure this thing out because it is a difficult situation and a difficult circumstance for us all, and it's different. So they're trying to find the best solution and trying to be fair to everyone. So I mean, it's a messed up situation, but I applaud the way that they're all working hand in hand.
Certainly, watching them work together is so different from what we're seeing going on in Major League Baseball. So you're right, Kendrick. That is something to compliment. Here's what I'm worried about just from a logistics standpoint. If you're really talking about 50 guys on 22 teams, that math works out to what? About 2 guys per team? Guys who may be saying to themselves, wait a minute, I need to live with no family or no friends or no special friends, right? For 2 months, that the food might not be good. I can't drive my cool car or go places without a mask. And what for? So I can risk my health and be pummeled by the Bucks in the first round? So I can lose to one of the LA teams early? And I can see guys saying, especially the guys who don't need the paychecks as much, saying, yeah, I'm not going. And then once 1 or 2 guys on a team say they're not going, it decreases that team's chances of doing well even more, right? That team is not going to succeed as much than if they had 2 of their players. And then there's less incentive for the other guys on the team not to go. And all of a sudden, outside of the top contenders, are we going to see mass defections here? Brian, is there a danger it could be like what happened to Team USA before last year's World Championships, where suddenly you get, well, if he's not going, I'm not going?
See, and the irony, Rachel, is you got a whole bunch of players who want to be there. You've got coaches who are threatening lawsuits if they're not allowed in. So I think at the end of the day, what's going to happen is this. The NBA is going to have to communicate and do the best that they possibly can to make sure that everybody feels safe and comfortable as possible and healthy, and hope that that environment and what they set up is attractive enough to get the majority of players to come.
We will see. We'll be continuing to follow this. All right, I do want to move on to Joel Embiid. He told NBA.com he's been working out 6 days a week during this pandemic. He also added, quote, I have something to prove, and I feel like whenever that opportunity comes, it's going to be my time. Perk, we've heard about Joel's offseason regimens before. How seriously do you take Embiid and the Sixers as we go into this second part of the season?
I take Joel Embiid very seriously. Listen, I don't like the quiet Joel Embiid. When he's quiet, that's when I have a problem. But when he speaks out, he usually backs it up. And when you look at Joel Embiid, this guy is one of one, Rachel. He's a generational talent, and he's the big Philly. I mean, he's arguably, when healthy, when his mind is right, when he's in shape, he's arguably, you could put him up there as one of the best players in the NBA. So I believe him, and I love it when he talks out and speaks out and says that he has something to prove because he always backs it up. It reminds me of a lot of Kevin Garnett. Certain guys like to talk noise to get them going, and Joel Embiid, that's who he is, and I think that's who we all have learned to love, is when he talk noise, we know that he's going to come and perform. So I can't wait to see him in action.
Yeah, true.
Philadelphia is one of the biggest X factors in the entire restart. The Joel Embiid, who played the fourth quarter of the All-Star game, is one of the most dominant players in the NBA. If he can recapture that, the sky is the limit for the Philly team when they come back.
Are you breaking out the cone of uncertainty for Philadelphia again, Brian?
It's been out for months, Rachel.
All I know is during this pandemic, I've been working out 6 days a week or 7 days a week or climbing hills. It's the new I put on 20 pounds of muscle. I'm just saying. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.